Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely, and I mean absolutely completely, shatter the way you look at art, culture, and human creation. We're unpacking the hidden dynamics of true artistic energy today. And as you'll see, the final missing piece of any great masterpiece actually depends entirely on us.
So I have a question to start us off. What is the true energy contained in great works of art? I mean, is it just the technical skill of the painter's brushstrokes? Or maybe the mathematical perfection of a building's architecture? Well, most of our knowledge up until now has trained us to think exactly that way. But what if a masterpiece is a whole lot more than just physical labor? What if an artist literally infuses their own spiritual essence, their inner volume and philosophy directly into the canvas? This whole concept really challenges us to look beyond the surface, to ask what truly makes a masterpiece valuable on an energetic level, not just an aesthetic one.
To really grasp this, we need a massive paradigm shift. We have to understand that art extends far beyond the canvas. If we limit our definition of art to just drawing a picture, composing a song, or building a house with incredible skill, well, we're entirely missing the bigger picture. Relying purely on technical talent to define art keeps us trapped in a super narrow understanding of human creation. Our source material makes a fascinating argument. True art is fundamentally about how humanity grows, evolves, and structures its existence. It's quite literally about life itself. And to build this new definition, we need to look at some totally unexpected forms of true art. We're talking politics and leadership, creating welfare systems, building family culture, and religious and spiritual practices. The source points out that discovering the techniques to lead a nation, the art of politics, is actually the absolute highest form of artistic creation. But it doesn't stop there. Creating a welfare system that truly helps society, that is a deeply profound art. Formulating the principles of a righteous family life and putting that into practice, monumental works of art. Any effort that takes a core principle of living, refines it, and expresses it to elevate humanity is a masterpiece in its own right.
And this brilliantly illustrates one of the most fascinating concepts from our source, the 70-30 rule of masterpieces. Basically, you've got slice 1, which is a 70% foundation laid down by the gods and past masters. Then you have slice 2, the missing 30%, which is the ideology that our current generation is supposed to provide. So here's the deal. All historical masterpieces, no matter how famous, are actually only 70% complete. The geniuses of history sacrificed their lives to give us incredible technical skill. But that missing slice, it's modern ideology. It's specifically our job today to fill that final 30% to truly complete these works.
So, were the great historical masters truly complete? Just think about that for a second. We constantly praise figures like Beethoven or famous historical painters, but let's take a hard look at their actual lives. Did they earn the true respect of the public? Heck, did they even earn the respect of their own families? A lot of them were wildly popular because of their immense talent, for sure. But many failed to lead their own families righteously or leave a guiding philosophy for the rest of us. They left behind physical genius, but their personal lives were often, unfinished. So praising an incomplete life as the ultimate ideal, that just keeps us trapped beneath that 70% ceiling.
Okay, let's walk through the evolution of culture to see how this actually works. Step 1. Past masters sacrifice everything to lay the 70% foundation. They gave us the tools and the history. Step 2, the modern generation absorbs this historical information. We have unprecedented access to all of it right now. But honestly, this is where humanity is kind of stuck. We're just sitting around admiring that 70%. Step 3 is what we absolutely must do. We must complete the final 30% with new ideology. Only then does culture actually evolve.
This brings us to a really powerful realization from our source material. Quote, an artwork without ideology is just a mere object. I mean, wow. If an artist today creates a piece solely to show off their technical chops, without any guiding philosophy about life or society, they aren't making true art. They're just doing physical labor. Without that inner purpose, the creation is completely empty. Sure, it might be gorgeous to look at, it might be technically flawless, but energetically speaking, it's dead. It's literally just an object taking up space.
So the crucial point is the stark contrast between mere labor and true creation. Let's look at item 1, mere labor. It's an object driven purely by skill, lacks any guiding ideology, and has absolutely no spiritual energy. Now compare that to item 2, true creation. This acts like a talisman. It's driven by a profound ideology, contains quantum energy, and acts as a protective force in the world. When you infuse a work with ideology, you're transforming it from a basic object into a powerful, energetic talisman. Now, we keep throwing around this term, so let's define it. Quantum energy is the profound, spiritual energy infused into a creation when the artist possesses a clear, righteous ideology and purpose. Think of it like this. A talented 7-year-old could totally paint a stunning, technically perfect picture. But unless that kid has lived an extraordinarily long past life, they haven't been around long enough to develop a deep-rooted philosophy on how to benefit humanity. So their painting lacks quantum energy. That energy comes strictly from the spiritual maturity and the life purpose of the creator. But here is where things take a rather dark and fascinating turn. There's a hidden danger to powerful, incomplete art. Historically, when an artist with massive spiritual mass created a piece, it contained immense energy. Naturally, those powerful works gravitated toward the wealthy and elite. They weren't meant for the general public back then. The original intent was for these pieces to act as talismans, energetically helping those influential figures prosper even further, so they could, in turn, do great things for society.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is what happens when things go wrong, when energy literally crushes the owner. Look at these points. The artwork acts as a heavy energetic weight. The owner hoards it out of pure greed. The owner lacks the ideological strength to handle it. And ultimately, the energy causes their ruin and bankruptcy. It's wild. When greedy people who lack character try to hoard this stuff just to show off, they get crushed. They don't know how to use the power for the greater good, so the immense quantum energy quite literally overpowers their weak ideology.
To prove this point, the source shares this brilliant historical anecdote. The Japanese tea bowl is a treasure not because of the clay, but because of the respectability of the person who owned it. Think about that for a second. This famous bowl, the dawan, is a priceless national treasure in Japan. Why? Is the clay magical? No way. It's priceless entirely because of the immense respectability of the person who cherished it. The physical artifact absorbed the righteous energy and public standing of its owner. Today, buyers aren't paying for a bowl, they're paying for the energetic legacy of a highly respected human being. And we can see this exact same phenomenon playing out in modern times. Take the Samsung collection phenomenon. Our source points out that if the company or the family holding these works is truly respected by the public across generations, seen as righteous leaders rather than just greedy accumulators, the true value of their art skyrockets. It becomes globally priceless. But if they lose that public respect, the art loses its energetic backing and essentially becomes valueless. The physical art is really just a vessel for the owner's standing. Let's bring this all together by mapping out the owner's reflection. Look at how this works. If the owner's character is greedy or ruined, their motivation is pure accumulation. The fate of the artwork? It just remains in a ruined estate. And its true value is basically zero, or even destructive. But on the flip side, if the owner is highly respected and acts as a steward of culture, the artwork becomes a national treasure, and its value is priceless. This is a huge paradigm shift. It is not the masterpiece itself, but your character and public standing that dictates its ultimate worth. So, as we wrap up our explainer today, I want you to remember this core idea. Art is a mirror of how we use our power. We've spent centuries admiring the 70% foundation laid by past masters. But our job as the modern generation isn't to just act as a museum for the past. Our true task is to stop merely admiring and start injecting our own lives and righteous ideologies into everything we do. Whether you're leading a family, running a business, or painting a canvas, you are the artist. You have to supply that missing 30% of energetic ideology. Which leaves us with one final provocative question. How are you wielding your own energy today? Every action you take, every object you own, and every project you build is just waiting for your unique ideology to complete it. Are your creations going to be mere objects of labor? Or will you infuse them with the respectability, the deep purpose, and the quantum energy required to make them true talismans for the future? Remember, the true masterpiece is in your hands. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.